Spoiler warning. Ogre ending isn't just shocking, it's a lie. Buckle up because this breakdown will rewrite everything you thought you knew. That this is the tale of Ellensworth, a city gripped by a deadly pandemic. At the beginning, two men are seen digging a massive grave, one that held multiple bodies at once. The pandemic had spread so rapidly that many perished in a short time. To prevent further contagion, those showing symptoms were locked in a large cell and left to die. Even the city's mayor wasn't spared by the illness, leaving Ellensworth in chaos and in urgent need of new leadership. In desperation, the townspeople chose a magician named Henry to be their new mayor. They believed his magic could save them from the calamity. Despite concerns voiced by the former mayor's assistant, Franklin, who questioned whether Henry himself had caused the pandemic, the citizens ignored the suspicion and rallied behind the magician. Henry warned that if they didn't act quickly, the situation could worsen. His own daughter bore the mark of the illness, an ominous scar, so he vowed to cure the disease himself using his powers. Everyone was ready to support him. Henry's magic did indeed end the pandemic, but it came at a terrible price. The spell unleashed a monstrous being that he could not control. The only way to keep the beast from ravaging the city was to offer it a human sacrifice once every year. One such sacrifice is shown. A bound victim, marked by a special symbol, is devoured by the creature to protect the rest of the town. Elsewhere, a group of young adventurers treks through a nearby forest, curious about the legends of Ellensworth. A boy holding a map gets too excited, runs ahead, and breaks his leg after tripping. His friend Mike decides to go deeper into the woods with Jessica to find help, leaving the injured boy with another companion to rest and set up camp. While exploring, Mike and Jessica come across a wooden cross bearing a warning not to enter Ellensworth. Mike ignores it despite Jessica's hesitation, and they continue into the town. At first, the city appears deserted until they hear a distant bell. Meanwhile, the injured boy, left behind, discovers the same cell where infected citizens were once locked away. Driven by curiosity, he opens it despite his friend's protests. At first, nothing happens, but then the boy is attacked and killed by the monster, which emerges and begins chasing the surviving girl. The scene shifts back to Ellensworth, where we see Henry and the townspeople, strangely unchanged after all these years. No children are present, and time itself seems frozen. As Henry casts a spell, a strange symbol appears on a young boy's hand, marking him as the next sacrifice. Henry's daughter is furious and begs her father to stop this madness, arguing that they cannot keep sacrificing innocent lives to save the town. She urges them to find a way to defeat the monster instead. Meanwhile, the injured boy's companion is killed, and Mike and Jessica finally encounter Henry. Upon hearing the name, Ellensworth, Mike is stunned. He realizes they're living the very stories he had once heard. But before they can escape, Henry's guards capture them and lock them up. In the cell, Mike meets the boy chosen for sacrifice, who explains his fate with a heavy heart. Franklin also confronts Henry, accusing him of causing the curse in the first place with his magic. Magic he couldn't control. Henry's daughter finds Franklin and reveals her growing doubts. She later steals Henry's magic book and learns the horrifying truth. It was indeed her father who had unleashed the plague. At the same time, the sacrificial symbol transfers from the marked boy to Mike, sealing his fate. Jessica breaks down in tears, fearing for Mike's life. Mike is tied to the crucifix for the ritual. Henry's daughter arrives just in time. She breaks them out of jail, and together they rescue Mike before the monster can reach him. They flee toward the magical boundary that the monster cannot cross. Henry's daughter tells Mike and Jessica to escape, but she cannot go with them. While fleeing, Jessica trips and nearly dies, but Henry's daughter's friend helps her across the boundary, sacrificing himself in the process. The next morning, the townspeople discover that the sacrifice was incomplete and that Henry is missing. Franklin gathers the remaining citizens as Henry searches for his daughter in the forest. Meanwhile, Mike and Jessica reach a nearby police station, but the officers think they're hallucinating. When they mention Ellensworth, the police laugh it off, claiming it's a fictional place. Desperate, Mike steals a pistol and heads back to the town back in Ellensworth. Mike and Jessica face the monster again. Mike shoots at it, causing the creature to retreat. They rush to the city hall, where Henry's daughter is rallying the townsfolk. She tells them that Henry's reign of fear is over. Armed with knowledge from her father's spellbook, she proposes a plan to destroy the beast for good. They lay traps and prepare for battle. Since the monster was born from magic, it could only be defeated with magic. Henry's daughter retrieves her father's broken nail, a potent magical artifact, and infuses it with power. Meanwhile, Mike is again used as bait on the crucifix, but this time it's a trap. The monster approaches but senses the ambush and breaks through. Just before it attacks, Mike shoots it, weakening the creature, and the townspeople attack with arrows and guns that, despite their efforts, the monster grows enraged. Mike urges everyone to flee. He and Jessica escape across the magical boundary. As the monster reaches them, Henry's daughter arrives and casts a powerful spell using her locket. The creature bursts into flames and is finally destroyed. That with the monster's death, Ellensworth begins to fall apart. The townspeople, stuck in a time loop, begin to burn and vanish. The curse is lifted, and time finally moves forward. The city, frozen for years, crumbles, and its existence becomes nothing more than a myth written in old books and with that, the haunting story of Ellensworth comes to an end. Think you could survive, Ogre World? Tag a friend who'd fail miserably. Don't forget to subscribe, unless you're scared of the truth. Thanks for watching.